This is the story of what happened in Vanuatu in 2021. Vanuatu is a small country of 300,000 people, and it's located between Fiji and Australia. So in 2021, I was working with two members of parliament to challenge the government decision to roll out the vaccination program, COVID vaccine with this experimental injection. So we did many videos with Member of Parliament Andrew Napuat and John Salong to warn people about the potential danger of this experimental injection. Then what happened is the government tried to find a way to arrest and prosecute these two members of parliament because they were talking against the government decision. And then what happened also is that the social media platform here were blocking and censoring all these videos to warn people about this big danger that was happening in the country. So then we had to go international to make sure people can get the information one way or another. And through my contact as a filmmaker, I was able to contact Rainer Fuellmich. And then we did a piece with these two members of parliament for the grand jury. And then it went everywhere. And at that time, it was huge because it was maybe the last hope that we had for somebody to prosecute and jail these criminals. And we're talking about the UN, the WHO, the World Economic Forum, and the Bill Gates, etc. Basically, Rainer Fuellmich was showing the way, the legal way, to all the lawyers around the world who wanted to take this kind of cases, the way forward to be able to succeed and stop these criminals, whatever it was, governments, NGOs, the UN, the WHO, etc. And then what happened, he get kidnapped and arrested and put in jail in Germany for what he was doing, basically. And then his trial have really been a joke, a complete blatant violation of human rights. So here's a message from two members of parliament of Vanuatu to encourage any politician around the world to raise their voice to ask the German government to release Rainer Fuellmich immediately. Thank you.
In the year 2000, 2021, 2022, those are some of the years that the world faced, I can refer to as dark times in the lives of humanity. And as we all know, the COVID pandemic that was spreading across the nations around the world with the so-called narratives about, what countries need to do. And a lot of the countries were just listening to the advice and the directives that was coming from WHO, and no one was standing up to question the narrative, to question the medical supplies that were given to people through vaccination. And so I want to say that it was during those dark times that this world-renowned lawyer, Rainer Fuellmich, came up and started to speak on behalf of the voices that were silenced during that time. He came up and as a beacon of light because he started the journey with his team and was interviewing leaders, was interviewing medical practitioners, top scientists. He was engaging them in the grand jury process that would eventually expose all the corruption and all the evil plans by these evil organizations that were trying to destroy the lives of humanity. And so we were so happy that Vanuatu participated in the grand jury, leading up to eventually leading up to the International Court of Justice. That was the plan. And we started exposing and telling the world what these organizations were doing to our people and silencing everybody so that all the governments around the world were just following one narrative. And there was no opportunity for anyone to question anything going on at that time. And so Rainer Fuellmich and his team invited us, and we started talking in the grand jury, and we told them the truth about what was happening in our country, Vanuatu, as well as we saw what was happening in the other countries around the world. And then I know that what we were doing offended some of the people who were trying to devise these evil plans to destroy the lives of humanity. That's the very reason why they arrested Rainer Fuellmich. But I want to say, in our view, Rainer Fuellmich did nothing to destroy the lives of the people. It was these organizations, these evil organizations that were coming up with their own plans to destroy the lives of the people. And when he stood up to speak against what they were doing, when he stood up to create a platform for us to expose what these organizations were doing, that's what got them offended, and that's the reason why they arrested him and put him in jail. But if I can say, I want to call on the international community, governments and leaders to demand, to call, for the International Court of Justice, to call on the leaders to intervene and free up Dr. Rainer Fuellmich from prison and from the law that he's facing at the moment, so that he can be a free man again. Because what he's doing is giving hope to everybody around the world, is giving hope to humanity. What he's doing, in my view, is about saving the lives of our people. So it's important that we all collaborate, we all come together through a concerted effort and demand that Dr. Rainer Fuellmich be released from prison and for him to continue with the good work that he's doing to save the lives of humanity around the world.
I'm recalling that Rainer Fuellmich, who was a very important lawyer for us at the time when we were being restricted and we couldn't speak, and we were being threatened that we would be put in jail. We got the opportunity to appear in front of the grand jury investigation to present the case of Vanuatu, and knowing that the same strict restrictions that were being applied around the world were also being applied here in the Republic of Vanuatu. He provided the avenue for us to be able to have our voices heard. And we were looking forward to us continuing to work together to be able to present a class action suit to fight against the spirit of Nazism that was basically taking over the whole world. And we all know that there was absolute oppression, and he was a beacon of hope for us. He was the very important salt of the earth for us. And we are calling on everybody to pray for him, that he will be in good spirits, that he will be strong and healthy, and that we will be able to argue in the appropriate places for him to be released from jail, because the situation was that the whole world was being put into oppression. And we were all standing together to fight for freedom, which we are now enjoying while he is in jail. And this is unjust, because he was a very important champion for us at that time when the scientific community was being told to say certain things, and there's only a few scientists who stood out and stuck to the real science, which was that there was no evidence for what was happening. It was basic oppression and total takeover of the whole world by people who wanted to imprison the rest of us. It is an absolute necessity that we get Rainer Fuellmich out of jail, and that he is also able to enjoy freedoms, and that we are able to put these cases into the courts of law, so that the courts of law can decide whether or not the oppression that we all suffered had any scientific basis. Because what we had been saying since day one is that it was a total subjugation of humanity to rules which had no basis in science. And this was only going to be argued in the courts, and we needed lawyers, and we still need lawyers like Rainer Fuellmich. And my prayer is that he's going to be released as soon as possible.
Empower translations. Translations for all humanity.